Hey, good morning. It's Steve Sawyer. It's Closet Church. It's Thursday. I think it's Thursday, isn't it? Yeah, it's Thursday. Thursday, August 15th, 2019. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I thought about during the night, and this is how I usually get a lot of my ideas for you guys. Keys to the kingdom. You know, we hear about keys to the kingdom, but you don't really... how many people actually could list off any keys to the kingdom? Counting, waiting. Anybody got one? I don't know what you think keys to the kingdom are, but I have some unsung heroes that are keys to the kingdom that I wanted to share with you. The first one is simply nothing more than sincerity. And when I read to you the definition of sincerity, you'll understand why it's so darned important. Sincerity is the quality of being free from pretense, deceit, or hypocrisy. It means you're honest, genuine, trustful, you have good faith, lack of deceit, you have integrity, things like that. Now, if we look back in the story of Jesus of Nazareth, what offended him probably more than anything else? Hypocrisy. If the opposite of hypocrisy is sincerity, then think about how incredibly important it is. Jesus was probably one of the truly most genuinely sincere people who have ever lived on this planet. The hypocrites, the people that would say one thing with one hand and be doing something else with the other, that proclaimed that they were serving and promoting the kingdom of God with one hand, while if someone was uneducated, they wouldn't allow them to participate in the worship of God. They had a club, they had a private club that you had to pay fees to enter into, which is not exactly, in fact, it's so far from not exactly, it's incredibly wrong. So what we have is sincerity. Sincerity is an abstract concept. How do you make sincerity become real? You have to make decisions. So here's our little guided meditation. Breathe in sincerity, breathe out decisions. I don't like guided meditations. Anyway, so if you are sincere, you're going to make decisions that reflect that sincerity. In other words, if your heart's right, the actions that you do will follow. Sincerity is one of the most incredibly important keys to the kingdom, which is the same thing as saying, if you want eternal life, if you want to find out what this whole life adventure is about, then make sure you're a sincere person. Sincerity has nothing to do with your educational level, has nothing to do with which church you go to. Excuse me. I don't even think that sincerity reflects which religion you ascribe to, much less denomination. Sincerity is something between a person and God. And if you are truly sincere, God knows us not by our words, but what's in our heart, right? So, one of the things that I was thinking of earlier was this thing about this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Ponder the fact that Jesus not only said, I am the light of the world, but he told his apostles, you are the light of the world. And the quote went something like, a city on a hill cannot be hid. You don't put a candle under a bushel basket, you set it on a candlestick so that it illuminates the room around you. We have the opportunity in very, very simple and lovely ways to be so enmeshed and ingrained in the fabric of eternity down here by just being sincere. And once again, the proper definition of sincerity means that you are not a hypocrite. You're not a phony. The dictionary definition, free from pretense or deceit. These are qualities that Jesus, what's the right word? Emanated. Jesus was absolutely free from deceit. He was cool, he was nice, he was honest, he was helpful. He was like the perfect scout, right? Now, the opposite, as opposed to the keys to the kingdom, what would be the keys to the chicken pen? Let's see. Let's go back to talking about the mammalian traits that so many people still wrap their arms around. Procrastination, insincerity, problem avoidance, unfairness, ease seeking. This is the opposite of the keys to the kingdom. Let me go over some of that again with you, because these are things that we should avoid at all costs, because you can't try to pull God in with one arm and push him out with the other. This is a relationship that's founded on continual growth, sincerity, and decisions. But you're not really making room for the Creator if you spend your life looking for an easy way out. If you avoid your problems. I mean, Jesus didn't avoid any of his problems, did he? No. Did he look for an easy life? No. Did he ask his apostles to choose? Probably. He probably said, when I'm gone, you can go back to the traditional religious methods where other people tell you what to think, passed down for generations. This is how the structure works and this is how you fit in. Or you can create that relationship between you and the Creator on your own as an individual. And it's not necessarily the easy way, because I guess you're like a salmon going upstream, but I mean, a salmon's got to do what a salmon's got to do. Who wants to go downstream? The real excitement, the real adventure is to go. I'm not trying to say go against the current, but it seemed like a good example to say to be like the salmon, because salmon are awesome creatures. But what they do, going against the current, doesn't mean that they're going the wrong way. They're going the right way. It's just that the current is so big, created by so many human beings for so many thousands of years, it seems like they're going the wrong way because they're not going the same way. Now, for people that are involved in organized religion and are the salt of the earth, they're the light of the world, they're living a world where they are not holding the keys to the chicken house, which means they don't pin their spirituality on procrastination, insincerity. They don't avoid their problems. They're not looking for an easy way out through life, but they're interested in sincerity. And the nice thing about sincerity is you can still be wrong. I'm absolutely convinced that God is more concerned about whether you're truly sincere or not than whether you're right or wrong, because what is right in this generation may not be right in the next generation. But sincerity transcends the traditional laws that may change from generation to generation. So, the decisions, sincerity and decisions, keys to the kingdom, because they represent everything that Jesus was. And they are also the exact opposite of things that Jesus was not, or great men and women besides Jesus. But he's just my favorite guy. And so what I think I would like to, I don't know how long this can go, but I was thinking about, I had a little line ahead, but I was thinking about this little light of mine, you can let it shine. And I was thinking about how at night from a satellite you can see cities from around the world. You go, ooh, there's Paris, or there's Los Angeles, or Chicago, and but all by himself. Spiritually, you could see Jesus from space. His sincerity was absolutely perfected. The decisions he made based on that sincerity were absolutely perfected. The fact that he didn't choose a life of ease, that he didn't mind going against the current because he knew that's not where he was supposed to go, are remarkable. Now, some of us, we're lucky if when you put us in a closet, closet church, put us in a little closet and you put our light on full beam, you might not be able to see the end of the closet, but there's still light. And that's the most important thing, because the thing I'd like to end with, and I think I actually will end with this, I read something that said that our highest moral choice, the choice of highest possible value, always is to choose to do the will of God. And though you be the most humble person on the planet, you will be great. Learning to do the will of God. The easiest way to start doing that is to share your inner life with God. The easiest way to do God's will is to be sincere, to really want to do God's will, to not be a hypocrite, to not do things because they look right in the eyes of some organized traditional belief system. We have to do what God calls us to do. We have to give God 100% of ourselves, because it is true, when a man or a woman gives all of their life to God, God will make that person more than they are. God loved us first. If you're not sure about God, just remember that material things have to be known first in order to be loved. But divine things have to be loved first in order to be known. If you're not sure about God, take a chance. Don't be a scaredy pants. Say, okay, I don't understand you, but I love you. See what happens. Don't be afraid. That's what mammals do. And we might be riding in a mammalian car, but I assure you that if you allow it, the driver is far more than mammalian. We're self-conscious, full of God awareness, and eager to find out what we might do in our life that actually lines up with purposes that the Creator might have for us as we learn to share and serve other people. Keys to the kingdom, not keys to the chicken pen. Strange ideas I have. Love you guys. Bye.